if you're a Fed fan, this is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the moment that Roger Federer has been waiting for. He's been very, very clear. Even in the French Open, he was saying, guys, I'm not here to win the French Open. I'm here to prepare for Wimbledon. Everything is about Wimbledon. This is where my real comeback begins. So today is the day. And in a couple hours, we're going to find out just where Roger Federer is in his game. Because if Roger Federer could have hooked up his first match, if he could have said, gone through the draw and said, who would you like to play first round? Mannarino might be at the top of the list. This is the type of player that Roger would love to play on grass first round Wimbledon. Why do I say that? Because when he played and lost to Felix Auger-Aliassime, I was not that surprised that he lost. In fact, I was saying, I see an upset. I smell a possible upset. I said that before the match started. Why did I say that? The same reason why I'm not surprised Tsitsipas lost yesterday, because you're playing these players on grass. The grass is brand new. You're new to it. It's your first or second round. And all of a sudden you're playing somebody who's got a huge serve, huge forehand, and if they're comfortable at all coming to the net, you could be in big trouble if they're feeling their game, okay? This is not going to be the case. Mannarino is a counterpuncher. He is going to let Roger Federer push him all over the court on the grass. That might be tough for Roger to do on clay, but on grass, this is where Roger is right at home, and a player like Mannarino should be eaten alive. So if Roger does struggle today, that's going to be a big warning sign for Roger and his team and for all the Fed fans all over the world. This should be pretty straightforward stuff today if Roger is still vintage Roger at all, okay? If Roger has not moved towards the old man retirement home yet and still has magic left in his game, which I believe he does, then today should be the type of day takes care of business 3 straight sets. I'm going to take a look at what Roger's done against Mannarino in the past, just to give Fed fans out there maybe even more. Right? In some ways, it can make you more nervous. Like, damn, if he can't take care of Mannarino, I'm really scared. Okay, grass is Mannarino's best service as Ollie Payton, but he doesn't have anything on his serve. This is a perfect first-round matchup for Roger. Exactly. So stoked for Tiafoe's win. What do you think about his ceiling? Can he challenge for the Wimbledon in the future? We'll talk about that later because I do have strong opinions on that. But let's just stick with Roger for right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to take a look at the matchup, what's happened in the past with Fed and Mannarino, because it's been pretty lopsided, pretty one-sided affair. So sharing the screen right here. Oops, adding to the stream. We're out here in Charleston, which is great. Me and my girlfriend go horseback riding today, guys. So sharing the screen. You guys should see the matchup. As you can see here, it is 6-0. 6-0 for Roger Federer. He's beat him 6 times. Roger right now, number 8 in the world. That's kind of weird for us to see. He's the number 6 seed here at Wimbledon. Mannarino, number 41 in the world. Roger, 39, almost 40 years old. Incredible. Mannarino, he's a veteran too, though, 32 years old. So let's take a look at what they've done. Roger, 187 pounds. That always surprises me. He seems much thinner than that to me. Roger's been a pro since 1998, Mannarino since 2004. 2 veterans going here. Now, this is the obscene stat. 1,247 wins for Fed, 212 wins for Mannarino, but more losses. 253 losses and 103 titles. Amazing. 1 title. So we can see on paper, this is not really much of a matchup. 130 million prize money, 8 million prize money for Mannarino. And then let's take a look. They've actually played at Wimbledon 2018, 6-0, 7-5, 6-4. Very routine, very routine. They played indoors. Federer lost the first set, but then he won 6-1, 6-3, and 6-4, 6-2, 6'3", 6'0", 6'2", 6'2", 6'3". I mean, you just can't. On the Pro Tour, even as great as Roger is, they played again at what they say they played twice at Wimbledon. Look at that scoreline: 6'2", 6'3", 6'2". I mean, for pros to play somebody that many times and for it to be that lopsided, that's a matchup obviously Federer loves. Federer loves Mannarino's ball because why? It allows Federer to be in control. Federer's not going to have to be very reactive. He's going to get to be proactive the whole match. And on grass, in theory, it's faster. The ball stays low. It skids more for Federer's slice. So this is all really, really good news if you're a Roger Federer fan. So comment below whether you're watching the live stream or whether you are watching the repeat. What do you think of Federer's chances here at Wimbledon? What do you think of this first round match? Are you excited for Roger this year? This is where he says that his campaign is really beginning. He says this is where it starts. Notice he's saying that this is where it starts and it ends. I mean, it seems to me that maybe Roger's planning on playing. He lost when he lost at Holly. He said he's going to be back next year. So that's good. He has a total setback today, though. Loses to Mannarino and keeps losing like first, second, third round, struggles to get to quarters. He might start to reverse that thinking, saying, well, maybe it's time to hang it up. Maybe the magic isn't there like I think it still is. But if he can come out here and just kick some booty, that's going to give him a lot of confidence. I think he didn't really get a chance in Holly to really build up his confidence very much. He had one first round match. He won 7-6, 7-5 against a big hitter. Probably didn't really get his timing down. Then against Felix Auger all day, didn't have a chance to really get his timing down, and he was out. And I'm sure that he would have loved to play more grass matches out in Holly. But this should be a good chance for Federer to really get his feel of the ball at Wimbledon, really get settled in, dialed in. So when he's going to have to face bigger hitters at Wimbledon, that he will be ready. He'll be ready to see those balls and have his timing going. So a great match for him to work on his timing, to get his confidence, to get a win, to go into the next round. Every time you win a match on a Grand Slam, you're one step closer to the final, which is big, 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 big. All right, let's see here what you guys think. Hi, Pete. From what I've seen so far, I think Federer's mental game is the determining factor. Why? I think his mental game is struggling because his physical game and his timing's not there. The mental and the physical go hand in hand lots of times. Federer's just clearly, to this point, not really got his timing down, not feeling the ball the way he wants to, has been erratic. He's had flashes of brilliance in almost every match that I've seen, to where you're like, there's Fed, that he's still got some magic there, but being able to do it point in and point out has been tough for him, and that's getting to him mentally. That's what I think's going on. Totally agree with being a litmus test for his chances. If he struggles, yikes. That's right. So Patrick is saying, hey, man, if he struggles, this could be bad news for Fed. So, I mean, even if Federer has like really, really tough 4-set match, like if Mannarino's hanging with him in every set, we saw the score lines. I mean, his average score line against Mannarino is like 6-3 or 6-2 for Fed. So if Federer's winning these sets, 7-5, 7-6, if Mannarino wins a set, and it's close, if it's a nail biter the whole way, Fed's going to become, even if he wins, he's going to be coming off the court go, whoa, this ain't supposed to go like this. I'm supposed to take this guy, eat him for breakfast, okay? Put some strawberries, whipped cream, Wimbledon, breakfast at Wimbledon, eat him up. That's what he's supposed to do. All right, I imagine Federer getting again in a slump mid-match. Ooh, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Federer performs. I'm reading comments right now. If you're watching the replay, we have people commenting, which is pretty cool. Wimbledon was always his main goal this year, even if he pulled out of the French Open to be 100% for this. Yes, this is it. This is going to be interesting. This is where we'll really see where Roger is in his comeback tour. And I think that he's going to want to have a really good showing at Wimbledon so he feels confident, then going forward and seeing if he can make a run at the U.S. Open and maybe play the Olympics and come back next year even stronger at Wimbledon if that's possible, That's another year. It's another year on the ticker, guys. It'll be 40 going on 41 next year. So that's tough. So you got to feel like you still got some magic left if you want to then go and play next year. And I think this is a big, important test, this Wimbledon. I think he's going to want to get to the quarterfinals or better so he can justify to himself that he is playing where he wants to be. So it's going to be huge. Let's see, Bhaskar, who just joined us at our Hyper Focus camp. We're going to be doing more Hyper Focus camps, and he's going to see me in Cincinnati as well. Good morning, Bhaskar. How are you? He really does lack the power and energy to blow through matches. We'll see, guys. I mean, look, he could be getting stronger every match. Today, let's not hold out any judgment until it starts. I think this will be a good litmus test, like we're saying, of where he is. If he does his job, if the magic's still there, if he's still feeling good, if he's getting physically stronger, he will dominate today. If his confidence, if his physical isn't there, he could struggle and go 4-5 sets. If he loses, I mean, I don't want to say it's time to panic, but it's like, as a Fed fan, if he loses to Mannarino, I'm like scared. I'm thinking, man, maybe, because whenever I've watched the greats go down, their game just sinks like a rock. I remember Lendl going from this dominant on the tour to couldn't win a match. Lendl, I don't know if you guys remember, Lendl was a machine, okay? Similar thing kind of happened to McEnroe. It's like 84, he was dominant. After that, he was never the same. Like when they lose it, they seem to just lose it. That's what's been just so amazing about Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic is we keep waiting for the wheels to fall off, and they don't. Agassi could barely walk onto the court. He was getting like 10 cortisone shots to get out there on the court. It happens fast. Just probably the best illustration of what the GOATs think when they lose their game and when they know it's time to hang it up. I don't think it was ever illustrated better than Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley said when he's playing for the Houston Rockets that he knew he completed the season, but he knew that he was done. And he said he knew the moment he was done, there was a ball going up. He was known as the round mound of rebound, meaning he was good at going up and getting the ball and rebounding it and out jumping people 5-6 inches taller than him because he's only like 6'4", 6'5". But the ball went up and he went to go jump up and everybody around him jumped up and was competing for the ball, and he was still there looking at it. So that's what it feels like for a GOAT when they start to lose their stuff. So we're hoping that does not happen to Roger. Let's read some more comments here. Bhaskar says, doing good. The Greek god disappointed us yesterday. Hope Fed gets his confidence back and the lion roars again. So this is huge. Okay, I do want to talk about this now. So I think we've kind of covered the Federer stuff. We're looking for an easy win. Another thing I did say is I want Federer and Djokovic. Like I said, this Wimbledon, I made a video saying this Wimbledon could suck. And it's starting out to suck, okay? And if Federer loses today, then it's really going to suck. Like, it's going to be tough to cover this tournament. But I said, if Federer doesn't get to the finals and Djokovic doesn't get to the finals, that I really hope that Tsitsipas, who is showing real signs of life, will have a great Wimbledon and compete, maybe even win Wimbledon this year. Well, what happened yesterday is he had against Francis Tiafoe. I don't know, Tiafoe, either way, the Foo Man. He played the Foo Man, and before that match, I was thinking, man, that's not a good matchup for Tsitsipas first round, because what if Francis serves big, hits big forehands, and he's a good mover? He could be out first round, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, so Tsitsipas, out of the next Jenners, whatever you want to call them, the next wave, not the non-GOATs, he was somebody exciting to watch, great personality, who was winning a lot of matches, who looked like he was really pushing towards trying to get these GOATs off of the mountain. And what happened? He loses first round. That's a big blow to this tournament. That's a big blow to this tournament, especially if somebody like a Federer goes out early. Now all of a sudden you're struggling to look for stars to play. Then it's like kind of Djokovic just sitting there by himself going, who's going to, anybody want to challenge me? Anyone? Because, Jannik Sinner, another one, another big name, another big hopeful that people call mentally tough. People stop comparing. I love Sinner. I think he's going to have a great career. I think he's a tough kid, but stop comparing him to Nadal mentality to Nadal. He is not near mentally as tough as Rafa Nadal. He is not nearly that, okay? And he's out first round. So Sinner, another one that we keep hoping and praying is going to be doing something great, out of there, first round, okay? So who else we whine to see? You know, Kyrgios comes to mind. Kyrgios hasn't played in a long time. He says he feels at home on the grass. He says, look, I can kick anybody's butt on the grass. He literally put a quote out there lately, something like, you know, anybody on grass, I could beat anybody. So he's interesting to watch. Like, give me some other names. Shapovalov, maybe. Like, the list starts to get real short when Djokovic, Tsitsipas, Federer, Nadal's not even playing. Like, write them down. Jog my memory. Who are we excited to see now? Now that Tsitsipas and Sinner are out, who are you turning on the TV for? Okay. Thoughts on Tiafoe? Tiafoe. Here's my thoughts on Tiafoe. He has everything to be a top 20 player in the world. He hasn't done it in many years. He is only 23 years old. I mean, so he has potential to have a big upside. He has potential to have a big upside. But, you know, this is what the next geners do. They cannibalize each other. They have a big win, and then the next match or 2 or 3 matches down the road, they lose to somebody. So until Tiafoe starts to put win after win together, I don't really have any thoughts on him. He's just a next gener who this is what they do. They beat each other, and then they have a big win against one of them, and then they lose 2 or 3 matches down the road. So far will he go? My prediction is that it's not really a big deal that he won. He'll be happy that he won. It's a big deal that Tsitsipas is out, but I don't think, you know, Tiafoe is all of a sudden like a big headline story, like, oh my God, this guy's now going to make his move and win the tournament. I would not be surprised if he loses within the next 3 matches. That's my prediction. I don't think he's a Wimbledon contender just because he caught Tsitsipas in the first round and hit big serves and big forehands. Nothing really to write home about here, guys. How about Mr. Murray yesterday? Yes. Okay, so Mr. Murray, thank you. That's somebody. Murray. You know, what are our thoughts on Murray? He loves grass. He's a veteran. And, you know, I mean, really, when he steps on the court against anybody, he can beat anybody out there because there's just not that predictability on the men, unless you're Novak Djokovic, you know, because Federer, we really can't pencil in like we used to. Federer, you could pencil him in for a win. You knew he was going to win. But even Federer is kind of like a wild card at this point. So really the only rock solid player at Wimbledon where you're like, the dude's not going to lose is Djokovic. Nadal's not there, and Federer right now is not, you know, Roger Federer. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's not any criticism of Federer. The guy is 39 years old. Don't think I'm discrediting Federer at all. I mean, it has to happen at some point. But everybody else in the draw, except for Novak, you have no idea what they're going to do. They could go to the semis or they could lose, you know, next round. And Murray is one of those. You know, Murray could make a deep run if he plays well and his opponents don't step up, or he could just play somebody bigger, faster, more athletic, that he's just a little too old and banged up and has lost. I think he's lost some steps with his hip, and so Murray could go out quickly, or he could surprise us and go pretty far. Let's see here. Only Federer and Kyrgios can challenge the Joker. I agree. I mean, I hope that Nick sees the opportunity he has. I hope he's feeling good physically. I hope he sees the opportunity he has and takes Wimbledon seriously and fights every point. Because if Kyrgios does take this tournament seriously and plays the type of tennis he's capable of playing, he could really go far. He could really go far because, you know, Federer's not Federer right now. And then when you look at it, Tsitsipas is already out. Sinner's already out. We don't know how many more of these next geners could be out within the first week. I mean, Kyrgios could become a favorite looking at his game and his potential, he could become a favorite really, really fast. Really fast. It's painful watching Murray. I feel like his hip will fall off whenever he runs. Yeah, he just doesn't look smooth out there. And guys, remember, I mean, Andy Murray, because it is easy to forget, Andy Murray was one of the best movers on the tour. He won a lot of matches just by great movement. So I agree. It is tough to watch Murray out there, but you know what? He loves being out there. He was so inspired by Federer, his match at the French Open, and he's like, do what you love. And so he obviously meant that, hey, I love it. Whether I'm winning or I'm losing, just getting out on that court, fighting, that's what I love to do. So total hats off to Andy Murray. I turn on the TV for Karatsev. Yes, Karatsev. Thank you for reminding me that. Yes, I want to see more names, guys. Give me some names that you would turn on the TV for. Karatsev, that's like borderline for me. I love him. I would love to see him go far at Wimbledon. And if he won, I think that would be an awesome story. He especially 2 or 3 months ago was playing like a top 10 player. He's kind of cooled off since then. So, but I would love him to make a deep run, and you never know. Fukovic and Rublev, half of the draw. Yeah, Fukovic is a great player. Lots of talent. He took out Sinner. When I saw that matchup, I also thought, I wish I could do a million. I'm here on vacation here. We're going to go horseback riding. Me and my girlfriend go horseback riding here in just a little bit. But, I did look at that Fukovic Sinner match and thought of maybe doing a video on that, because I thought, man, that's not a good matchup first round. You don't want to be playing Fukovic first round on grass if you're Yannick Sinner. Rublev, can he make a run? He hits big and flat. That's that could go far at Wimbledon. You're not seeing these traditional serve and volleyers. The people who have a traditional grass court game out there are really just Federer and Kyrgios. That you would see those guys playing grass in the 80s and the 90s. A lot of these other players, it doesn't even look. They're not playing grass court tennis on the grass, just because everything's become more homogenized, that the surface isn't as fast, and if everybody's going to stay back, then it's an easy playing field. Back in the day in the 80s, 90s, if someone's coming in on you and they're good at the net and you're staying back, you were at a huge disadvantage. It's like almost you couldn't win. Even Lendl learned how to serve and volley on the grass. Let's see here. Medvedev has potential, but can he really pull off this late craziness in the big moments? Yeah. So Medvedev definitely could do well on grass. He hits the ball low and flat through the court. I've never really heard him complain about the grass. He was flat out honest that he didn't like clay. So Medvedev could go deep. Is he somebody at this point? He was starting to be at the U.S. Open, at the Australian Open. I started to think, man, Medvedev's one of those guys you just pencil in. Like, he's going to win. He's a winner. He beats but I don't know. He's had a weird 2 or 3 months since the Australian Open. He's had some weird, kooky moments out there to where I just don't have the confidence that he is going to be there all the time. He can go off the rails. He can go a little bit nuts. And so he's kind of a wild card to me. Like I said, guys, the only one who's not a wild card here, and I know this is going to hurt some Fed fans. Federer normally would be, but he's 39 and he hasn't played in a couple years. So you just can't ignore that fact. So Federer to me is still a wild card. I don't know how he's going to do. Djokovic is the only guy when I look at him like, dude's not going to lose. He's not losing, and he's he knows where he's at. He knows. Hey, Federer's 39. He hasn't played in a couple years. Nadal's not here. Like, who's going to beat me? Why can't I win a Golden Slam this year? So let's see here. More comments. You're right about Medvedev. He is so unpredictable. Yes, he's unpredictable. I like him. I have a love-hate with Medvedev, because sometimes I really like him, and then other times he does things that really disturb me. Very, very disappointing in the way that he ended his French Open run. Not that he lost to Tsitsipas. Not that even that he lost in 3 sets to Tsitsipas. There's no shame in that. Tsitsipas, amazing player. Tsitsipas was so close to beating Djokovic. But being down 6-5, 30-40 on your serve, that's pretty close. you can come pull that match out. Just as Djokovic showed. He did it a couple times at the French Open, in fact. He was down 2 sets French Open in the final. And the way Medvedev chose to end that run was by hitting an underhand serve and jogging to the net. That was really, really poor taste. Let's see here. Let's read some more comments, and then we're probably going to get out of here. I think Medvedev has been the most consistent player out of the next gen the past few years. Maybe he can go through huge win streaks, but act like a junior on the court. Absolutely. You're right. You're right. I mean, and I was thinking the person who had, who's had the best runs over the last 6-7 months, Zverev, who I haven't even brought up. Zverev's been incredibly consistent, guys, quietly. We just never bring him up because, I don't know, people don't like him and people don't like to watch him play tennis. Overall, I don't not like him. He doesn't really do anything for me either way. But watching him play, I'm just not that interested to watch him play. But I do have to say, hey, out of people who are, showing up every tournament, big tournaments, small tournaments, Zverev has been there. He's been there. So, Zverev is somebody, although his game for me on grass doesn't really go that great because he stands so far back. I don't really see him being very good at standing back and then taking the baseline over. He seems to since he's such a big guy, he stands far back and hits big shots. And I just don't know how that's going to go on the grass. But Zverev's been incredibly consistent. Medvedev's been consistent, but kind of like wacky lately. Tsitsipas has had a great run. That's why I was surprised to see him go out at Wimbledon, except for I do think he got a really poor matchup first round. And let's see what else. Rublev's been pretty consistent. Other than that, Karatsev was consistent. He's kind of fallen off. So it's just really been Joker. Joker's really the only one. Put your money on him. If you're somebody who likes to gamble and put some money on some things, I mean, Djokovic is the safest bet out there in tennis. He's the safest bet out there in tennis right now on the men's or the women's side. It'll be interesting. Looking for Coco to continue to do some great things. Serena could go all the way because, with Osaka out and the women's tour is so unpredictable, maybe even more shaky than the men's tour as far as who's going to be there at the end. You just don't know. Barty, but I think this is a great field for Serena to really do well and maybe get that last Grand Slam she's looking for. I think she's looking for one more. I'd be surprised if she won another one and didn't retire after that. That would really be amazing if she won and then kept going. That means, man, she really don't want to leave tennis. But I kind of get the feeling, I don't get the feeling that Federer's playing for one more. I think he's playing for more experience and that he can still compete. I think Serena's just there to win one more and then say, okay, guys, that's it. I'll see y'all later. Kvitova was knocked out. Yeah, it's just so unpredictable. Murray has a shot. Yes, he has a shot. If everyone bets on Joker, then there's little chance to win. Right. So the odds makers are going to also go with the Joker, so you can't really get a big return on your money. But it's kind of like, I guess, investing in a bond or whatever. It's it's going to be there. I was shocked when I heard Sabalenka is second seed at Wimbledon. Yeah, exactly. So, and the men's tour seems like it's moving that way to where you'll be shocked at like the results. And unless Djokovic is in the tournament, the results, you just have no idea who's getting to the final. No idea. That's all I got for now, guys. Settle in, get excited, watch Roger. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button. We will probably be back tomorrow morning before I get my day going here in beautiful Charleston. Let's see if you guys can see out there. That's we got the pool. Got some water out there. And it's all good. It's all good. And we'll see you guys on the next live stream. Take care.